Okay, so step 8 is going to be tying in the hackle. So what we do is, one thing you need when you're doing hackle, if you try to do it with your hands, especially as a beginner, you're going to be very frustrated. So you need a pair of hackle pliers. They're just these small things here, and they work really well. So I would definitely invest in those. So what you do is you just take the hackle and clip it on the end of it. Now in this case, I'm just going to go, I'm only putting it on, the top part, so it's not that big of a deal, but just wrap it around. It depends on how much you want. Now this, typically, see that sometimes it'll happen where it'll break off like that. So it's actually good that that happens so that I could show you. So that's where it can get kind of frustrating when you're putting hackle on. So you can wrap it either way. It doesn't really matter. Works the same both ways, especially with this neck hackle. So we're just going to wrap it on there. And you can start playing and experimenting with like the length of it and stuff like that if you want shorter hackle, stuff like that. So once you get it on there, you just lay this over the top like so. And you just come in on the back side like when we were tying in the wire, like so. You want to make sure you pull this back. And it'll take you a while. I'm not an expert on hackle by any means. So sometimes mine don't turn out great either, but it's kind of the same basic principle. So as doing some of the other stuff. So a lot of times when I'm doing hackle, I won't put a half hitch on the end just because it makes it it's harder to do. So if you wet your finger and your thumb and just pull it back, that helps too sometimes. So once you get it in there, and I've got about 3 wraps over it, so it's not going to go anywhere. Like so. And remember, with hackle, you can always use a scissor and trim it up some if you don't like the way it looks. Which probably the first couple times you do it, it's not going to look the way you want it to. So I got that pulled back, get that tied in. There we go. And then we just take our scissor, because it's not going to go anywhere. We're just going to trim this off right there. I'm going to straighten this out a little bit. So that's how you get your tackle tied in. You can see I don't have any on the bottom, which is fine because I don't really want any down there right now. Or for this particular jig, I want it on the top with the legs. So, but you wrap it around. I kind of cut it off there because I didn't really want it on there. So I'll touch this up just a little bit. So that's how you put your hackle on.